Namaste, I am Om Prakash Chaudhary, Assistant Professor, Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Science, Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Today I will discuss about marmalade and procedure for marmalade preparations. So firstly I discuss about marmalade. So it is similar to fruit jelly, but the slice of the fruits or the peel are suspended. In marmalades are generally made from citrus fruits like orange, lemons, in which peel shards are added as a suspended materials. As per FPO specifications, the quantity of fruits and soluble solids in the final product shall not less than 45 to 65% respectively for jelly and marmalade. So now I will discuss about procedures for marmalade preparations. So first step is preparations of fruits. The outer yellow flavored portions of the peel of citrus fruits containing coloring matter and volatile oils, where the inner white albedo portions contain pectin, and the yellow portion of the peel is peeled off thinly from the fruits with an stainless steel knife, and the thin yellow peel is cut into fine shards with a knife or by using shredding machine, and the shreds are boiled and drained to remove the bitterness, and the sliced or crushed fruit is boiled gently by simmering with 2 to 3 times water to extract the pectins. And while it is being boiled, a spoonful is of the clear extract is taken from the pan and tested with a alcohol for the pectin content. And the boiling process usually takes 45 to 60 minutes, and after boiling the extract is filtered through a emulsion cloth, and the pectin extract can be clarified by using a filter aid by passing through a filter press. So next step is preparations of peel shreds. So the peel is cut into shreds like 2 to 2.5 centimeter long and 0.8 to 0.12 centimeter thick, and the threads are softened by boiling before they are added to the marmalade, and if they are added directly without primarily softening to the sugar solutions and boiled, they become tough, and generally three methods are employed for softening the threads. First is the threaded peel is boiled for 10 to 15 minutes in several changes of water, and the bitter principles present in the peel are also removed in this process. And second is the sets are boiled in 0.25% solutions of sodium carbonate or 0.1% solutions of ammonium. And third is the sets are then autoclaved at 116 degrees Celsius to 121 degrees Celsius, and the time required to soften threads depends upon the size and shape. So next step is cooking. So the extract is boiled along with required quantity of sugars in a steam-jacketed kettles or stainless steel vessels. Boiling is continued and the impurities rising in the surface are removed. And when the temperature of the boiling mixture reaches 103 degrees Celsius at sea level, the prepared sets are added to at the rate of 62 gram for each kg of the original extract. And boiling is continued till the jelly point is reached, which is determined by using either seed test, drop test or wet test. After boiling, next step is cooling. The marmalade is cooled in a shallow pan or in water cooled pan by slow stirring to allow the uniform distribution of shreds in the marmalade. During cooling, when the temperature reaches 80 to 88 degrees Celsius, a thin film begins to form on the surface of marmalade, which becomes sufficiently thick and to prevent floating of the shreds onto the surface. And next step is addition of flavors. So due to volatilizations of natural flavors during cooking process, addition of artificial flavor is desirable to compensate the loss, and it is desirable to add a small amount of flavors to the product because most of the natural flavors volatile during the boiling and cooking process. And generally a small quantity of orange oil is added to the marmalade at the time of filling into jars or cans as a flavorant. After addition of flavor, next step is packing. So after cooling, the marmalade is filled into jelly glasses or glass jars, which can be closed airtight or is packed in cans which are hermetically sealed. In jelly glasses, the marmalade is allowed to set overnight, and on cooling, a thin layer of molten paraffin wax is poured on the top. And when packed in a 821/2 size cans, and the cans are inverted upside down to sterilize the lids and stored in a cool dry place. So jams consist an important class of preserved fruits products, and apple jam, pineapple jam, strawberry jam, and mixed fruit jam prepared by using pulp of two or more fruits are quite common. So jam is prepared by boiling the fruit pulps with a sufficient quantity of sugar to a thick consistency from enough to hold fruit tissue in positions. The method for preparations of jam and jelly is the same, except the pulp and pieces of fruits are used in jam, while for jelly making, clear fruit extract is used. So according to FPO specifications, minimum soluble solids in the final product shall not be less than 68%. So now I will discuss about procedure for jam preparations. First step is fruit preparations. The fruit is washed thoroughly, the removed any adhering dust and dirt. The fruit is then subjected to primary treatments, which varies which type of fruit, and strawberries and crushed between rollers, raspberries and stemmed, crushed and passed through sieve to remove hard cores. And the plums, peach and apricot are heated with a small quantity of water until they become soft and are then passed through a wide mesh sieve to separate the stones. And then fruit after softening by boiling with a small quantity of water can be passed through the popular to extract the pulp, and the pears are peeled and cored and cut into small pieces. Mango are peeled, stone separated, and then the slices are passed through a pulper. And the pineapples are peeled, sliced, and the core sponged, and the slices are then cut into small pieces and passed through a screw-type crushers to get a fairly coarse pulp suitable for making the jam. When the two or more fruits or fruit pulps are mixed in appropriate proportions for preparations of jam, the jam is called as mixed fruit jam. So second step is addition of sugars. So generally 55 part of cane sugar sucrose is used for every 45% parts of fruits for preparation of jam, and the prepared jam should be contain 30 to 50% invert sugar to avoid crystallizations of sugars in the jam during storage. And if the percentage of invert sugars is less than 30, then jam develops crystallizations, and if it is more than 50%, then the jam will develop into a honey like mass due to the formation of small crystal of glucose. And the sugar should not be added in excess in jam with high total soluble solids become gummy and sticky. So next step is addition of acids, color and flavor. So citric and tartaric or malic acid are used to supplement the acidity of the fruits for jam making. And addition of acid to fruits which are deficient in acid is required to get appropriate combination of pectin, sugars, acids for proper setting of jam. And the pH of mixture of fruit juice and pectin should be 3.1 before sugar is added. And only permitted edible food colors should be used, and these should be added towards the end of boiling process. And flavors are added in at the end of cooking process and just before baking. So next is boiling. So the fruits is placed in the boiling pan along with a small quantity of water to facilitate pulping, and it is then cooked sufficiently to liberate the pectin. And after addition of sugar, the mixture is boiled to concentrate the soluble solids to about 68%, and also to allow the necessary degree of inversion of the sugar. And the boiling can be performed in jacketed kettles and stainless steel or aluminum boiling pan. Boiling in a vacuum pan using reduced the pressure is used to prepare jam at lower temperature to minimize undesirable changes and the poor retention of vitamins. So at the end point can be determined by carrying out a jellymeter test, and generally fruits which are fairly rich in pectin, the weight of the finished jam is one and the a half time the weight of sugar used. And the jam containing 68.5% of soluble solids boils at 105 degrees Celsius at sea level, and it should yield a defined quantity of the finished jam. Then end point storage is next point, and then the jam is packed and sterilized glass jars, and it should be noticed that unless the jars are stored in a fairly cool place, moisture will be evaporated from the jam resulting in shrinkage of the jam. And if the jam is prepared from fresh unsulfitized fruit pulp, then it is advisable to add about 40 ppm of sulfur dioxide in the form of potassium metabisulfite to the jam, which is permitted by law. And a layer of molten paraffin wax can be put on the top surface of the cold jam in the glass jar, which on cooling sets. And this acts as a safeguard against any possible molting on the surface of the jam.